Well, I think, shall we try to do some meditation now? Because I was told that, by many masters, and in the text, just yesterday I was with Khenpo Rinpoche, and we talked about how in Tibetan Buddhist tradition we are beginning to get too distracted with the intellectual stuff. And he said also that he was using certain expression, lot of expressions. The ancient expressions are very, very sweet. Gom chayun tam. Chayun is like a duration of a cup of tea. If you can meditate, there's like years and years and years of study and practice and recitation of this and that. It's so good, but if you can meditate as short as duration of cup of tea, it would bring much more benefit. Penetrates your mind. Well, because I know that in the afternoon you do your meditation, and then Lama Choda has been giving you detailed explanations. We were just sitting, just sitting every day, just sitting. I wasn't even requesting anything. This actually, some people think that this is something that Tibetan Buddhists don't teach, which is not true. We have Luven, it's called something called Luven. Luven is not necessarily just going to the cave and all that. It is just sitting also. But I was I had a really good opportunity talking with some Zen master. Really a learned one, actually, really good. I was so impressed. Few weeks of touristing in Japan, after a while, it really depressed me, because those Japanese Zen temples, they just look so spotless and completely clean, and everything is so good. But so what? I would sooner go to bank of the Ganges and sit next to one of those Hindu pandits who is creating all kinds of mess with the rice and cow shit and all of that. I get. But when I met this master, I really, as a Buddhist, not really, it's not coming from my devotion or anything like this. It's more the compass. There's something called kapuri. It's more like this sort of patriotic Buddhist mind. We have something. So when I was in Japan, when I met this guy, I was very happy that there is actually some people who really know what they are doing. And we were talking about, and correct me if I pronounce it wrong, I think in Japan they call it shikantaza. It's just, what it means is just sitting. You don't do anything, just sit. Now, any intellectual people will argue with that, just sitting, no accumulation of merit, not good, all of that. But if you read the Japanese Zen master's teachings like Dogen Zenji, it is amazing, because the word just, wow, that's like a Pandora box. You can open that word just, it can mean all kinds of things. In a way, the Tibetan word nyam ya has a lot to do with the just. Just. This just is such a beautiful word. So we will sit again. Just sit. cough, yawn, scratch. If you are feeling a little drowsy or I suggest you to bring up a little bit of wasabi. But a Nepalese achar is good. Okay, so are you ready? Okay, we start. Some questions
Yes, please. Mahayana is supposed to be different from Hinayana, yeah? So, what I don't understand is an arhat, when he reach arhatship, when he reach realization, he is supposed to understand that everything is connected, like the flower and your arm. So, what I don't understand is, but the cessation arhat has, it looks to me like a complete disconnection, because this cessation is a real cessation. So how can this be that in the moment that you realize you're connected to everything or interconnected with everything, you disconnect completely?
This is why, the word Maha has a lot of, it's actually not only a kind of a self-promoting kind of a, strategy or advertisement. There is a truth in it. There's a lot of reason for that. Because first of all, Sambat Jachava, you have to have a grand motivation. The arhats, to begin with, their motivation was not grand. They weren't even interested anyway. Actually, maybe this would be interesting for you now. Sometimes we, Sharvaka, word Sharvaka actually can also have this connotation, Nyente, someone who does the hearing and someone who make other people hear. Nyente. And I think it is in the Pundarika Sutra that actually some of the, like Jachumpa or some of these Sharvakayana practitioners, they have even told Buddha that I have heard your Mahayana teachings, and I will, as a service to the Buddha, I will expound this to others, but for themselves they will not practice. First of all, motivation is not grand, and because of that, the view is not grand, and also the skillful means, tap jachava, skillful means is not grand. So the capacity to understand the full picture of wisdom is so difficult, so difficult. Actually, Buddhism, also the level of devotion is difficult. It is different.
Maybe the other way around.
Okay.
If I'm a realized being, then I don't lose the connection. I mean, I realize the connection to everybody, but realization doesn't make me disconnect normally, yeah? So,
if you are realized being.
A realized being, in any way realized. Because also I realize the connection to all the other people, or to all the other beings.
Well, this needs to be qualified a little bit, because if you are a realized being, it is kind of very difficult for me to tell you, but just, first of all, from your point of view as a realized being, we are not sure whether there is other beings as such to be connected to.
Thank you.
Rinpoche, I have two questions about our Bodhisattva vow. The first is because that today we have already taken this vow, so from now on what should we do? And especially how to judge that we have already keep this vow, and if we have broke this vow, what to do? The first question is this.
Okay. Bodhisattva vow, actually this is good because we should really, the Mahayana, there's something really, again I'm complaining here a little bit, the Tibetan Buddhism, we have quite a good wealth of knowledge of Buddha Dharma, I think. Kindness, credit to all the lamas. But somehow due to this, I don't know, whatever, the cultural or something, even though we say that Vajrayana is the most important, right? It's like, and this Vajrayana is the biggest selling point for the Tibetans also. Tantra is the most important. And then there's the Mahayana, and then there's the Charvakayana. But when we practice, it's the other way around almost. Almost we put more emphasis on the Charvakayana kind of practice, a little less to Mahayana, and really not so much in the Vajrayana. Because, there is pujas and all of that, but it has almost become a ritualistic thing. The Vajrayana. So really emphasize on actually practicing. I think it has something to do with the culture. See, almost anybody, if you ask, what is the monk's, sort of root vow? I think most of the monks can tell you, by and large. But if you ask them, what is the Bodhisattva's root vow? Very difficult. Very few people know this. Things like kings, like vows, ministers, like vows and all of that. This is good that you have mentioned it. This is something that we should really learn. We should really get into it. But not, this takes a bit of time. But for your question, you should not let go the aspiration bodhicitta. If you have let go aspiration bodhicitta, then you have broken the vow. Okay, wait. But there's something good about the Mahayana vow. It's not like a clay pot. If you break, then that's it. You cannot mend it. Mahayana vow, even if you break, it's like a silver or a golden pot. You can, with a good silversmith, you will make it even better. You understand? And also, things like that.
The answer for this Bodhisattva vow is because you said that so-called Dadulasana Chansen, right? So if we have grasping and such like, no. If we have our own agenda, we have no bodhisattva. So when from now on, should we do everything? Should we do everything for all sentient beings and neglect ourselves, or we do them all for all sentient beings and myself both? Which can is better?
Okay, several answers for this. Remember, I was telling you a few days ago that we are kind of fortunate to really have lost this Madhyamika vow, Madhyamika Bodhisattva vow, which is a little bit different from the Chittamata tradition. Because in the Chittamata it's quite complicated. You have to really take things seriously. Whereas in the Madhyamika, Rimba Shindu Labarchi, step by step you can engage into the bodhisattva activity. Okay? Also, like Shantidevas, to support all this. In fact, if you are not first Bhumi Bodhisattva now, your master will prohibit you from cutting your limbs and give it to a hungry dog. You are not allowed. So if you are 1 day old Bodhisattva, you have to give from right hand to left hand. And then after 1 week you give vegetables or something like that. You understand? So you can get used to. You understand? And that's what I was saying.